All right, everybody, welcome to the Confession Post podcast. This is Morgan Rector, and
And Von Dark.
as always, we take postings from confessionpost.com, things people have confessed to, their personal things that they're often troubled by, and ultimately they want people to comment on them there, perhaps offering solutions, and we're doing it as a podcast. So I guess I'll start off this week. Stomach and vor fetish. I don't know if the word vor was meant to be another word. I've never seen that word before. VORE.
There's new shit popping up all the time.
That is true. Yeah, I don't think that Microsoft Word or the internet can keep up with all the new slang terms. So,
That's true.
so this person's talking about a stomach fetish. They say, I am a 19-year-old male, and I've always had a fetish involving female stomachs. I love listening to them digest or when hungry. I presume he means like hunger pangs, stomach growling. I love rubbing and kissing them. I love playing with a cute navel. Moreover, I also have a related fetish known as a vor. There's that word again, where I like to imagine being swallowed whole by a giant woman.
Oh, I think I know what he means by vor. Okay, it sounds familiar now. Like it's like vortex.
Oh yeah, vortex.
It's like almost like shorthand for vortex. I think. Like, don't quote me on that. But like, I went down like a rabbit hole a little bit with the eating stuff. Like, I wanted to know what the fuck was up with this. Like, right? Like, what's up with like that? Like, people they want to like we were talking about like feeders and people who eat whatever, and then
Yeah.
there's people who want to be eaten, and then you know what? There's also like the cannibalism side of it. When you think about it, like just think about all like the eating fetishes that there are. People will just watch people eat on YouTube,
Oh yeah, there are women who make money doing that on like
right?
fans or whatever. Sure.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, so I was just informed about, is it mukbang, something like that? And
Yeah.
it's basically like it's people eating and the sound of it, and like some people like it, or it's like relaxing. It's like you know puts you to sleep. But it's like that to me is not. Like, that's the kind of shit that keeps me awake. Like, what the fuck? Are you eating right now? Like,
Well, I'm looking at the definition on Urban Dictionary right now. So
oh,
for
sweet. Okay, cool. I need to know what this vor thing is. Is it like,
it's short for vorophilia, a fetish in which one fantasizes about being eaten alive or eating another creature alive.
but
Some,
how did they get vorophilia though?
well, I don't know, like the
I'm gonna
suffix.
look that up. I'm gonna be like, where's the root of vorophilia? Is it like,
Well, the suffix philia refers to like a fetish,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
action. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does have a connection to vortex.
I want it to so bad. That'd be so cool if it did. Just
The most common type of vor is soft vor. You mentioned that being swallowed or swallowing whole with no bloodshed. There's also the less common hard vor, which involves the tearing and chewing of flesh. Other types of vor include macrophilia and microphilia, in which one character involved in the vor is larger or smaller than normal. Many might associate vor with cannibalism. However, most vorophiles do not favor cannibalism. Vor is an imaginary fetish. That is, it is impossible to perform in real life in the way most fantasize, unlike
yeah.
most cannibalism. Maybe they should do that in like those those porn games they're always advertising on porn sites now. They should just do that. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so the closest thing that I've seen to that was not like quite like eating so much as being inserted into somebody. And it was something that I seen like way back in the day, the early times of the internet. And it's basically like guy gets like inserted into woman's vagina. He's bald, which I'm like, wicked. That's like that's a pro.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to be pretty clean shaven for that. But it's I'm sure it's fake. It can't be real. Like the way that it looks, it's like there's a prosthetic or something there, and it's like similar to that part in Ace Ventura 2 when he gets birthed by that fucking rhino,
Yeah. Comes
but
out.
the opposite way.
Well, I mean, if a baby can come out of a woman's vagina, maybe a guy could stick his head up there. Get
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a full grown man, and I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying I'm very skeptical.
Depends on the guy too.
Because,
Well, like I knew a girl in high
I
school.
mean, I've seen some unbelievable shit. Like, there's some. Okay, so just the other day on this What the Fuck page on Facebook before I got banned, um, there was this chick, and she had like this long, like dildo thing that like went like she was basically like sword tricking that thing. Like it was down in her. Like it was way down. And she's just like she's looking at the camera and you're like I have like I'm weirdly turned on by this cuz she's got that look on her face like oh my god, but like she knows what she's doing obviously. She totally knows what she's doing, but she's like pulling this thing out like a fucking clown pulling out fucking those like scarves. You know what I mean? It's just like there's no end. You're just like, where the fuck? Like, and she's looking at you like, oh God. You know, like it's actually really good. It's a good video. Definitely good video. But I'm like, I've seen that come out of people's butts. And I'm
Well,
like, okay, crazy. Like,
yeah.
like they're doing the same thing that she just did, only it's like, yeah, the other way.
Damn. Well, you probably have to practice with like gradually larger objects in order to give that the rectum increased elasticity, because it's not technically designed for that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna, yeah. I'm gonna agree.
yeah, I so
But
eventually,
also, like, on the other tip, it's like sometimes it's like if you're into that, it feels pretty good. So like, why does it feel so good if it's not really like meant for that?
do women also have an A spot?
What's that?
Do women have an A spot as well? They say men have an A spot.
Well, you can reach her G spot through there because it's only like a thin membrane.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean? Like when you think about it, like it's right next to each other. So like you go in there on a certain angle, you're gonna hit some good spots.
yeah, I
So
can
like
imagine
yeah,
that.
the A spot is like basically the G spot.
Hmm.
Oh, and I mean like there's like a few different orgasms like we can have, right? So like the G spot is a whole another like it's its own entity, but you combine that with like a clitoral um orgasm, and then there's a uterine orgasm, which I'm thinking is like more your DV, like your double penetration category, where like women are screaming, crying, and shaking and shit like that. Because but I mean, you got to be also open for that as well. Because like if you're sexually closed, you're not gonna have that happen in your lifetime.
And you won't get to squirt. as well, right? I think you'd have.
Yeah, I mean, well, that happens both vaginally and anally, right? So,
So, what is the verdict on that? Is that urine, or is it just like the same kind of?
a lot of people are fighting about that. I think it's a little bit of a mix of both. Like, it's kind of like its own entity. Because I know when I'm really hydrated, I will do it. Like, but um, it doesn't smell like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like sometimes it does a little bit. And sometimes like I guess with certain people, like it can have a bit of a color. But
yeah.
like I think that's more or less like if you don't take care of it in the moment, like or you know, take your precautionary precaution things, you know what I mean? Like throw down a rubber sheet and some towels and like whatever.
Well, the body does have reserves of water, like tears. Tears are just
Oh
water.
man,
Sweat.
you're like not well, not 90% water, but you're like a lot of water.
Yeah, like or sweat.
So
There's actual just clear liquid water in your body, so maybe it's just like that, right?
yeah, I think so. Like, cause I like I said, like when I'm like really hydrated, it's easy for me, but like I don't always do it all the time, you know? So
All right, I'm looking up this now. So,
yeah. And you're
so
like, no, I need to know. You know what? No.
according to New Scientist, female ejaculation comes in two forms. That's what scientists are saying. So the so-called female ejaculation. Um, some women express liquid from their urethra when they climax. For some, this consists of a small amount of milky white fluid. This technically is the female ejaculate. Other women report squirting a much larger amount of fluid, enough to make it look like they've wet the bed. Um, so they say the milky white fluid comes from skein glands, tiny structures that drain into the urethra. Um, so yeah, that's how they weigh in on it.
Crazy.
But yeah, they're not saying that it has anything to do with urine, though maybe it passes through the same areas. But
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's like it triggers a response that like that maybe they don't really know just yet because like they're not really looking into it. I don't think there's anything that's like this is pressing knowledge that we need to find out like what is it because like it's just like I think
it,
I think those people are like, man, we got so much shit on our hands right now. Let's just let the people do their memes about it. Let's let them sort it out, whatever. Like,
aren't women supposed to go to the washroom after they have sex, like to urinate? Isn't that something that is
yeah.
necessity?
And it's mostly just to make sure that you get like anything, because I mean, when you're having sex, there's a lot of like in out, in out, in out motions, right? Like, and your urethra is pretty close to that. So, fuselage or bacteria or anything like that could get pushed up
Oh,
into your urethra. So, if you don't go pee, and I mean, sometimes this can happen too, like with guys who are a bit dirty. Because I like
yeah.
yeah, I've had a couple of those. Like, I mean, they were clean, but like apparently like they weren't clean. You know what I mean? Like
Not like we
I
wipe.
found out later. What's that?
No, it's not like we wipe after we use the washroom.
Well, I mean, like there's only so much you could do, and I mean, like sometimes like you're fucking in the spur of the moment, and you don't think to go grab a fucking like wipe and wipe your dick down. Like
Yeah.
I get it.
Or maybe he had
You
sex with
know?
another woman like very soon before you, and maybe bring someone else's
Oh
DNA.
yeah, but that's something that we can tell. Like you can smell. You know what pussy smells like.
Yeah, I used to
I
know
mean, I do at least.
I used to know a woman who
There,
said
you
she
turn that
knew she
down.
knew when her husband had cheated on her, like she could smell it when he came in. So yeah.
After fucking, I know what pussy smells like. I was like, oh fuck, the door's open. Like, my parents do know that about me, but it's not like they need to hear that right now.
Oh, one of your parents heard it?
They're just in the other room. I don't know how loud I am sometimes. I got my headphones half on my head, so I really don't know how loud I am right now.
Well, hey, being the mother of a woman in 2022 is very different than it was in 1922 when you would have been married with kids and your husband probably would have been like the only man you ever had sex with. So I'm sure they've resigned themselves.
Or you just fucking, oh man, no. Like, if you're from the East Coast, you're more likely to have a bunch of kids. And you
Well,
might have fucked, like, your old man's friends.
you might have 8 fucking kids by now, probably.
Oh, yeah. No,
Barefoot.
my mom's like one of many,
Oh
which
yeah.
is like, it's great. Like, I love like finding this shit out. I think it's great. She
Oh yeah.
has a pretty colorful past, and I fucking love that shit.
Well, maritime women are tough and a
Oh
lot more
man.
aggressive, and you got to figure if they've got those characteristics, they must really like to fuck because
Oh
people who
yeah.
people have like a strong masculine bent to them tend to be like that. So
We need kids to help work. That's what it is.
that too, yeah.
All right.
All right,
I
so
guess it's my turn.
yeah, yours is what?
1 sec here. Trying to get my screenshot. There we go. I'm going to start with a short one and end with that long one, I think. Gaining to become fatter. Ever since I was in my teens, I had wanted to get extremely fat. I started gaining in 2009, and it has been a slow process. I want to be able to take up multiple chairs and have have a belly big enough to that, so that I need to have something to rest on. I love getting fatter, and I'm looking forward to when I'm able to barely move.
Hmm.
I don't identify with that, but I do in a way.
Well,
You know?
well, I'm into BBW porn, and it's interesting because some of the women that I wouldn't say followed over the years, but certainly their material keeps coming up over and over. Some of them have died, which is kind of weird, and you wonder, like, is there anything wrong with jerking off to a dead woman? But
Oh,
ultimately, I don't
no.
think it.
I kind of love that in a weird way, but
I mean, I don't know. They're probably like famous women who died long ago that men still be off to, like Marilyn Monroe or something. Um,
yeah,
so,
yeah. Or like Anna Nicole Smith.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think of these women being corpses, when I'm fantasizing about them.
But
But yeah,
like, once you find out, or once you know they're dead, doesn't it, like, sometimes it ruins it a little bit for me.
actually, you know what ruins it for me is if this is a really stupid thing some porn models do, is where they might appear with their boyfriend. It's like I get that I'll never meet her and she's totally free to date, but the fantasy is that I get to have her and it's in my imagination. But if they
Yeah,
appear with their boyfriend or husband, that kind of ruins it, right? Because
totally. It takes it away.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bad
That's like
business.
one of the first things I learned when I like worked at a hair salon. Like, I learned that shit there. Not that, like, but it's like, you want to make it seem like you're not taken, you'll get better tips, like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
totally.
That makes sense. Like, yeah, if it's like a stripper started dating the owner of the club, which often happens, I think they probably make sure to keep that on the down low because the customers wouldn't want to give her any money for lap dances if they knew she was proper to the management,
Yeah,
because the
no,
fantasy,
totally. It's the fantasy. You want to keep that up.
yeah,
And like, sometimes like they'll even go so far as like not putting that on their profile, and I've done it.
Yeah,
You
totally.
know, I'm like, I'm not gonna advertise that shit because like it's not like I want to date all these people, but it's just better. Sometimes it's just a better, more comfortable experience. You know, like
Yeah,
for whatever reason. But
hold that
anyways.
thought. I gotta do something with food.
He back?
Have I ever told? Have you heard the story? My Alex Trebek brownie story.
No.
Oh, okay, so he was mostly straight edge, right? No alcohol, no drugs, and but
Yeah.
his vice was chocolate. So he's at a party one day, like Friday night, and somebody has laid out a tray of brownies, and so he's like, "All right, cool brownies." So he's well, turns out they were like hash brownies or weed brownies, and
Oh man.
he was so stoned he had to spend the night, and he didn't leave until like Sunday night. He was that
Like the next
yeah,
night, like
went his entire life without ever taking anything like that, and then
oh my god, that's amazing. I'd
uh,
be like, yo, I'm fucking taking care of Alex Trebek. He ate too many pot brownies. And like I would totally like there'd be too many people that would like try to sneak in and be like, yo, look what I'm doing right now. I love him. He's so wholesome.
yeah, you can buy can of butter now, which is totally legal here, so you can make those baked goods, and it's totally legal.
Oh man, I want some brownies.
Well,
I've been like fucking craving some sweet shit like so bad.
oh, have you seen
Oh,
Reese's has these squares now? It's a mix you have to buy, but it's the peanut butter with like chocolate frosting, so it's a Reese's square. That sounds really good.
oh my God, I love like Reese's Reese's Pieces, those chunks with like the mini cups.
Oh yeah, those
Yeah.
are.
The
I
mini cups are mint. Like the mini cups are my favorite because it's like the perfect mixture of fucking the perfect ratio of peanut butter to chocolate.
well, I
Like
had
and oh sorry, go
I was
ahead.
just say I had a legitimate like Reese's Pieces addiction once. I'm not joking.
I
It went from
fucking love
small
them.
boxes to like two large boxes a day, and then I started buying them in bulk. Like it was a bona fide addiction, like fucking crack. It was really weird, but
Okay, so Reese's Pieces and Jelly Bellies. Like
yeah, I love
those
them.
two, I eat the fuck out of those. And Costco got the big ass bags of fucking Jelly Bellies.
And at Bulk Barn, you can buy like they stock them individually according to flavor, so you could get
Oh
all.
yeah.
But don't ever buy the sugar free because
Yeah,
basically
it's
it's a
bullshit.
laxative. I learned that
Yeah.
way. It
The
was just,
Haribo fucking gummy bears were that.
yeah.
And like any other fucking candy that's sugar free is like that. And also Arizona iced tea. There's a it's a light green tea, something like that. Don't ever fucking drink it. Like you'll be like literally like it was like projectile shit, like and liquid. Like just liquid.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck did I drink? Like, am I dying? I actually thought I was dying. I legit thought I was dying.
wow.
I like didn't think it was the drink at all. And I'm like, wait, this is like a liter of this shit, and I drank half of it. So like maybe it's the tea.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, they say
Yeah.
green tea is good for you, but I don't know. I don't want to drink it.
Green
So,
tea is actually really good for you, but you gotta get the proper shit. Like there's actually places out where you are that you could get like the tea bags that are proper.
yeah.
Actually, if you go to Chinatown out where you are and you ask for like proper green tea, like they'll definitely give it to you. But you'll chances are you'll get it loose. And the thing is with green tea, it's kind of particular. You have to boil your water to a certain point or let it cool off and then pour
Oh,
it over the leaves because you will like kind of fuck with the quality. And you can't let it steep for too long or it'll get really bitter if it's really good green tea.
so I guess you use that tool where you put it inside of the thing and it's got a metal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a sifter,
Yeah. And
like
like,
or like a bulb. You can stick it in a bulb that kind of does that.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, yeah, green tea is like super good. It's like honestly, I highly recommend it because like you can drink that almost any time. I feel like the caffeine isn't terrible in it, but it actually is. I heard in green tea it can be more so than some coffees with the caffeine.
Yeah.
But it like it helps your immune system, your metabolism, um it helps with your skin, it helps with all kinds of stuff. It's really good.
Well, yeah. And then going back to this whole gaining thing,
Oh yeah.
there's a whole there's the lingo, there's the gaining, the gainer, the act of gaining, feedee and feeder, those relationships where someone's
Yeah.
actually giving them food. I guess if I was dating a woman who decided to do this, I would have to say to her, like it's to me it's attractive, but at the same time, I don't want you to do it for me. I want if you want that, do it for yourself because I don't want the blame. I don't want anyone looking at me like it's my fault. She weighs 800 pounds now and she's gonna die of a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want
Yeah.
my conscience. So yeah, and also
Yeah.
yeah,
I
because
mean, on that same tip, I don't know if I could live with that, like being the one that facilitated that, like it's like I contributed to their death, like I'm not sure if that's something I'd be willing to like go through.
and I already have someone in my life who's immobile
They'd
and
have to pay me for that
yeah,
because I'd have a lot of emotional fucking shit to deal with after.
and do you want to wait on somebody? Because that's what you're gonna have to do when the sex isn't happening. You're gonna be taking care of them, waiting on them, and that's not fun. Well, some people who enjoy making them immobile are totally fine with that. Like I saw a documentary where there was this couple. The man was pretty much normal weight, but his wife ended up setting a record. She ended up weighing 1,000 pounds, and then
Jesus fuck.
yeah, she was more or less immobile, but she decided to lose weight because they adopted this little girl and she wanted to be there for the kid. But he hated that. He didn't want that to happen. He's like, no, I want her to be this big. And he was really unhappy about it. And he was talking about maybe even divorcing her if she gets, if she ends up in shape, losing all the weight because your family be
It's
pissed.
heavy.
Yeah. And,
I mean, honestly, like the amount, like you're financial drained, so like either you have that shit taken care of yourself,
yeah.
like you have it covered, or you find somebody who wants to financially kill you too. Like, like they're like, I'm actually donating money instead of just my time.
And, I've
Like that's
noticed.
fucked.
I've noticed these people who end up weighing, 700 pounds, 800 pounds, they almost always have a significant other. That's more the norm than the exception. Whether it's a man or a woman, they almost always have a spouse or something. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Most people would think, oh, if you were that big, no one would want to date you or marry you, but it's not true. I don't know. They always seem to have someone around.
Yeah, totally.
Like this
Like,
guy.
I don't know.
This guy used to appear on Geraldo's old show. It was called Hambone, and he couldn't get out of bed, and they had to shoot the segment from his bedroom. And he had a wife. She was sticking in with him. So I don't
Yeah.
know what to say about that. We're about to. All right, so I think it's my turn now. Boy, we're really gonna have to. I'm gonna have to edit this episode a lot.
Oh,
Uh,
that's all good. Like you cut a little bit of the Jeopardy song out.
yeah, reduce that a bit. So The title in this one is Waste of Time. Do you ever feel like you ever just feel like you wasted your time on someone? There's this guy I found attractive. He was really nice looking, and I just thought maybe his face would match his personality. When I heard him talk for the first time, it wasn't his voice. It was what he was saying. He sounded like a complete pathetic douchebag. My time was wasted. Thoroughly unimpressed. Have you had that experience where you were really attracted to someone and then they opened their mouth and everything just deflated? It was just like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like as soon as you're in front of them, like you just can't like you seem like a complete like I don't know, I call it being a schoolgirl.
Yeah,
Just being awkward as shit. Because it's just like like I don't know, and it's so fucked up. It's like the one thing that I've noticed, like sometimes in those situations, it's so funny that you act that way because sometimes they're actually that way too.
yeah, yeah.
And you're picking up on their energy and you don't realize it, you know?
As far as guys go, no one gives us advice on what to say. Nobody does. I mean, people there you can find information on what not to say, but there's no information on how to go about it exactly, how to talk to a woman in that context, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then,
for sure.
and the less interested she is, the worse it gets, because he's trying to draw blood from a stone and it just ain't there. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's just like I don't know, like I mean, I get in those situations like man, like I don't know why my brain is blanking, but like I'm good in other situations. Like why can't I begin in this situation? Why can't I just be like, blah, 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 and like, just shoot the shit, whatever. Why am I like running through my head over analyzing everything and oh, that's stupid. Don't talk about that. Like,
but as a woman, you can just sell yourself visually, You can just fall back on
well,
that.
no, I mean face value is good, but like I've always been like, because I've known so many people in my lifetime, and like it's weird, like everybody, like I've actually had like the good fortune of knowing a lot of really cool, interesting people that are like all different flavors of like, like face value stuff. Like there's like this dude I know in Edmonton, and he's a UFC fighter, and he's like so good looking, great tattoos, beautiful body, right? And he's just like not the first person I would think that would fuck with me, right? But
Yeah,
we hung out a few times. Like we like I dated like first time I hung out with him was him and his partner. And then like we actually hung out a couple times like on our own and that was cool. And like, we still actually talk from time to time too, but not like that. Like it's just like, hey, how's it going? And it's blah blah blah. Cause he's cool. He's actually pretty cool. He was a weirdo. And I feel like he didn't know how cute he was.
mhm.
He does know, but he just like has a different mindset. Like he appreciates people for being people. Like you could be pretty and all that, but like some people just have like certain charisma.
Is he a big deal in the UFC? Is he?
No, 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 no. He was like it's like lower class UFC, like
Oh, you mean just
local UFC, like
so,
local stuff.
so
Yeah.
like an Alberta based?
Yeah, Alberta. Yeah, 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 that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like he's good and
So
he's like pretty ripped. He could be like yeah, he should be like more of a model. But anyway, um,
does he make a living from it? Is he that? In-
I think he's a personal trainer. I think that's what he does
oh
for a
yeah.
living. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because he told me like he spends like 4 hours in the gym, like doing what he does. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you've got to get paid for that. So, I don't know. I would think that personal trainer would be like the best bet.
Yeah, imagine. Right, I think you're up next, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wait,
Okay.
no, I want to
Oh, you
actually.
wait.
I'm sorry. Before we go on, my response to this one is actually going to be two pronged. Well, the one
Yeah.
thing was that, yeah, I remember I worked at this place, and there was a guy there who was like, it's funny because this was in '99 when Ricky Martin was huge, and he looked a lot like him, and he definitely capitalized on that with women. But I noticed like one by one, they all just lost their interest because he was just really narcissistic and full of himself. But it was interesting to see them go from like, oh wow, turning heads to totally disappointing them one by one, and they were just disgusted with him just because so into himself, right? But then a whole other thing too is a waste of time. So I just had that happen to me. So like I don't know if you've ever told someone you love them and they didn't say it back, but it happened to me more than once. So yeah, I definitely feel like I wasted my time with that person.
Yo,
So
yeah, totally.
if that happens once, get the hell out immediately because it's probably not going to.
Sorry. I was just scrolling through something and an ad came on.
Yeah. Well, have you ever been in
Oh,
a,
yeah, I'm supposed to find my thing. That's what I was doing. Fuck. Stupid ADD.
have you ever been in a relationship where like you love the other person less? I mean, no, they you less than you love them.
Wait, they loved me less than I loved them?
Like there was an imbalance of love where maybe
Oh
you.
man, there's been lots of imbalances, and it's been like, oh, I feel like it's like a roller coaster with some people because like I go through like, I feel like I go through like this weird infatuation phase right away where I might take time for people like for me to grow on somebody. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'll be into them like so much in the beginning, and I mean and then like they're like into me like fucking 6 months later or something like that. 6 months to a year or whatever. Like depends on how long they decide to kind of hang out. Like if we're good enough friends and stuff, because like I don't know. Um, I like to establish a friendship now. I like to make sure I can hang out with them after. Like I want to actually have like a engaging conversation from time to time.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be, having sex 24 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's just some people like honestly, I'll hang out with them with like the drop of a hat because it's easy and it's like whatever, like it's cool. I don't have to try. They don't have to try. We can just like sit and watch something and like enjoy that and like it's cool. But like there's some people it's like the energy's weird and you feel like you gotta talk or something. Like there's just like it's I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Well, what was weird about my most recent relationship is basically I was the woman. I was the
Oh.
was the romantic, sensitive one who wanted the commitment, and she was like the guy, so she just kind of dipped in and out, and so that was a weird thing to have happen. But whatever. I fell for the wrong person. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's done that.
Oh
So
man. I'm 40 and technically single, so yeah, I know that
yeah,
one.
there it is.
I wasted 10 years, and honestly, like, there's this whole, like, what if I did this instead? What if I did this thing instead? But I don't know if, like, that would fix anything, like,
So nobody is ever able to talk you out of it as well. So even if someone did say something, half the time you could be so in love that you're pig-headed about it.
oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't listen to people's advice for some things.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, it's good, it's good.
All right.
And then, I mean, then there's the people themselves lying to you, like bold-faced. They're looking at you, like dead in the eye, and they're lying to you. And that's always fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. That probably happened to me too.
Oh, yeah, it's like, everything's gonna be like this. Um, like, yeah, there's so many song lyrics that I can bring up
Yeah.
for this. Like, like. But anyways, let's move on.
Well, yeah. There's
Oh,
a tragically hip song called "Fully Completely," and he's
oh yeah.
writing about like the woman's feelings. She's saying like, "You're gonna miss me fully, completely," and I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I relate to this. This is so sad." All right, you're going now with your second confession.
Yes. Okay. Feeling naughty. It's lunchtime, laying in my room with tissues down my pants. I wish someone would catch me stroking myself. I wonder how I would feel if it was another man. If it was you, what would you do? Okay, so it's hard to tell whether or not this is like a man or a woman. I
Yeah.
think it's a man.
Well, I did get caught once. Well, one time I wasn't aware I'd been caught. I was told a long time later. Um, uh, well, when I was like 15, I was stupid enough to do it in the living room, and my mother caught me when I came in. I had to pull my shorts up. That was
Oh,
pretty.
geez.
It's not something I want to be caught doing. So, have you been
That
caught?
is funny. No, not really. I mean, I was caught, but like that was like it was a different kind of caught. Like I was with a friend, and it was like embarrassingly young, and like I have a feeling like she saw something on her like parents. Like she probably put the wrong movie in one day. Her parents weren't around, and she seen some stuff. So we're like playing doctor and house and stuff, and she's like, you know, all of this stuff is her idea.
Hmm.
So anyway, like I think, I'm pretty sure she must have saw like the wrong thing. Um, so yeah, we get caught. Um, and yeah, mothers were talked to.
Oh,
I like couldn't really like explain it because I'm like, I don't know, like it was like I think her name was Stephanie.
were
It
you
was
allowed to?
Stephanie's idea.
Were you allowed to have words? Like, were you forbidden from hanging out with her after that, or?
Yeah, for a bit. And it's funny when I was like 16, we went back to like visit my parents. I think they like totally forgot about that. Like they must have. My mom was a recovering alcoholic at that time, so like maybe she did forget about it. So, yeah, we went back there on a camping trip and I met up with a few of the people that I grew up with like back then. That was like in 89 when I was there last. So it was like 7 or 8, something like that. Anyway, so um when I went back, we went to Stephanie's place. Stephanie like barely changed. She still looked like super little. Like it's like almost like she didn't hit puberty yet. And I was like 16 at the time, 15, 16, something like that. And I'm like, why do you look so little? Like this is weird. Like you're almost exactly how I remember you. Like and
Wow.
I'm like legit, like it was weird. And she would not look me in the eye either. Like, and
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, bitch, this was your idea. Like you did that. I wouldn't have known about any of this stuff. Like the only thing I known about was French kissing before you. Like,
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, so anyway.
How would you feel like, say you were living with a guy and he was like masturbating to porn? Like, would
I
that make you uncomfortable or?
I mean, it would in a way where I'm like, yo, like I'm right here. We can fuck. Like I would like to fuck. Like that would be great. Like
There are people who have like more than one fetish, and that's a,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I had a partner that like I kind of caught him, and he was literally doing it just like right behind me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Wait till you turned your back and just started going at it.
yeah, pretty much. And like I saw like what he was watching and the fucking there's a reflection in one of the pictures we had hanging in the wall.
Oh, was that awkward?
Yeah, it was because I was a little offended. I was literally like right there in the room. Like I was like, come on. Okay, so like drinking and drugs were involved. I'm just gonna say that. But I'm like,
Yeah.
really, like, why would you like you could talk to me, you know?
Well, maybe there could be like a compromise where he still watches porn, but you jerk him off. There's that
Oh, totally. I mean, it's not like we haven't done that before. It
or
was just weird, you know, like
yeah, or watch them
we're
together. Yeah.
we were open, you know.
Well,
But anyways.
yeah. All right. So my last one is entitled I am 39 and approaching 40 really soon. I partially chose this because you're about to hit the big four. But, so it goes, I am 39 and approaching 40 really soon. I feel like I have messed up my life. I wish I could start over again, but I realize it's too late. So this is a short one, but it's kind of the type of confession that opens up a Pandora's box of sorts because I feel like, I don't know, I wonder if most people might feel that way. Like
I think we all do.
my life didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but I'm just starting to accept it now. I mean, there's nothing I could do about it. You made
Well, the
plans, but
yeah, yeah, and I mean, I had like, oh my God, throughout the years, like if you compare all of my goals from say when I started making goals as like a preteen, you know, started like thinking, oh, that's what I want to do and this and that, to like when I got out of the house and I realized how the world works and you got like, you know, real with it. You're like, okay, well, let's make some realistic goals. I legit thought I would own a house by now. I thought
me,
I'd be settled. I thought I would have like a wicked stable career. I thought I would have kids. I thought I would have all these things. And I literally have pieces of things.
well, when I was 17, I thought I'd be like a rich rock star by now. That's,
Oh
that's
yeah, no, when I was 16, I thought I would be making music videos. And look, you know what? I'm so glad I didn't like fucking take that career. 'Cause I mean, well, I mean, if I did, I could be a director.
well, it seems like there's not nearly as many being made now.
No, music videos aren't a thing because like who plays music videos?
Yeah, well, they still exist. I think
Yeah, they
they'll
still
put them on
do.
YouTube or Vimeo or whatever, but I don't. Otherwise, it doesn't seem like there's any point in doing it anymore. But they
Sorry, my
make them.
vape is killing me. And it's just a regular like vape.
Oh, I thought you had like some kind of illness. I thought you were actually sick. But
Nope. Just forgot how to smoke this thing.
yeah, well, I wanted to make movies actually from the time I was 18 for 25 years, and the life shat on my dreams, and so that.
Yeah. Yo, I feel you. Like that, like I wanted to do more short stuff. Like, I mean, music videos. I was like really big into Floria Sigismondi, and she like went from doing music videos to she did the Runaways.
Oh yeah, she made that one.
Yeah.
Spike Jones
I,
started making music videos. Like, well, actually, no, he started making
yeah.
skateboard videos, and then he made like a couple of videos for like the Beastie Boys. I think he did some other
Yeah.
and Fat Boy Slim, and then he started making features. So that used to be a
Yeah.
break into the industry.
Yeah, totally. Like, and I mean, I never really thought about that. It's like when I just thought about it, I'm like, like music videos aren't even a thing now. But then when you talk about those people, it's like, well, that's where I could have gone. And I mean, all these people, like, once you get a shoe in somewhere and you're making lots of money, or you get your first few dollars, it's all about investing, and like, keeping that creativity going where like you don't become invalid. You have to keep being valid,
Well,
which is hard.
it's really cool that Halifax has an industry now. I mean, I don't remember that existing when I was a kid.
We had an industry for a while too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in '95, like we were killing it.
Yeah, I was watching Dolores Claiborne thinking, wow, I don't know if it was shot near Peggy's Cove, but it was the same kind of terrain, and because Nova
Yeah.
Scotia was a lot like
It's
Maine.
actually, I think it's Maine, because that's a
Yeah,
Stephen
it is
King
Maine, yeah.
movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was not a bad movie, yeah. Probably one of the best that's been shot down there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I told you about how my mom knows, well, we lived in the same town as Stephen King. Like he lives in Bangor, Maine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like
I've been
every
there.
Halloween they're like, we're taking you by Stephen King's house. I'm like, no, because I was super young, and like,
Oh, you were scared.
I was like, no, no, like, like,
Well, apparently he doesn't actually live there anymore. Like, I guess somebody.
no, he's got places. He's
Yeah.
good. He's set, man. He's set.
Oh, yeah. Well, he sold over 14. Oh, no, sorry, over 400 million books. So I think he could afford a second house for sure. Yeah. Yeah. He could
Fucking A.
buy some additional real estate.
I'd love to have like at least like two houses, two places, like a cottage
Yeah.
place. Actually, two cottage-sized places I could bounce back and forth to, and maybe like one like super small fucking New York-sized apartment somewhere. You know what I mean?
As far as the cottage goes, I wouldn't bother to have an actual house built or buy a house. I would just purchase the property, put up a trailer there, and live there, like a trailer park
That
type.
would be cool,
Yeah,
but I mean, I'd like to. If it's like got well water and stuff, well water is the shit. It's so tasty. It's the best water you'll ever have in your life.
yeah, it's true.
I love it. Like that's the only thing that like I both love and hate about here. Cause well water, you can't just have baths all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Cause it's a lot of water. So, but like drinking it, oh my God, it's so
Oh yeah,
refreshing.
it is good. It's better than water for sure.
That's some good H2O.
Yeah, big
And
time.
like water boy fucking shit right there. High quality H2O.
So yeah, as far as turning 40 goes, our
Oh
society
yeah, fuck, we went way off track there.
our society has all these ideas about what you're supposed to accomplish at this age and this age and this age, but
It's different now.
life can throw a monkey wrench into those plans very easily. Things can throw you off course, and like health problems or financial problems, and
Things were way easier back when our parents were, killing it, being young and stuff, when we were like wee babies.
yeah.
It was way easier. My dad, okay, get this. He told me that back in like it was like 89 or something like that. My grandmother sold the house that they grew up in for 100 grand.
Oh wow, that's peanuts.
It's it's in BC and in a place where that shit would be going for 1 million now.
What town was this again in BC?
Burnaby.
Burnaby. That's close to Vancouver, right?
It is, yeah, it's not far.
Yeah, even in Burnaby, that would
I was
yield
like,
profit.
Jesus fucking Christ. And then like, yeah, this is like honestly, you can't afford a fucking place. Like, best you can do is like 3 grand or 300 grand, 400 grand if you're lucky. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah. Vancouver is one of the
ah.
highest
I
standards.
mean, out here, Vancouver, different story.
Yeah, yeah. That it's one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in, and interestingly, it also has one of the worst ghettos in the world, the East Side.
Hastings
I,
Street.
yeah, it's just a
It's
guy.
the longest ghetto.
Yeah, it's just bad news. You guys stay away. Willie Picton's prostitute victims were walking that street when he picked them up. So that's just one
Yeah.
example. All right. So what was your last confession?
Okay, 1 second. Okay. It's called Chased It for Nothing. I became friend with this 40 something year old washed up crackhead junkie of a woman with a kid. She is an absolute. I still like don't know what this R word means. Ratchet? We'll say ratchet.
Maybe
Because,
wretched. Absolutely.
well, no, it would have started with a W, I would say. Starts with an R.
Well, they may not have known that it starts with a W. Some people think.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, uh, wretched with a record. She she told me she got arrested and I looked on mugshots.com. There she was. She looked like she just rolled out of bed and got smacked in the face. Makeup everywhere with an ex-con like stare. A real dangerous woman, but with a righteous I judge everyone type of attitude.
yeah.
LOL. She lives in a nice house somehow and once was a stripper. I know she is no good at all, but I want to bang her to see how it is. Put it in that old crackhead Poonachi.
I can relate.
Squeeze them dropped drop titties and say yes. Kiss the cigarette crack smoking mouth of hers. Tug on that hair and smack the A. I gave her a pill to relax and left her house. Later on, she said she wished she could cuddle with me. Then that put the seed in my head. So a few days later, I brought up cuddling, and she thought it was a good idea. Then I pushed the idea up to hooking up. She liked the idea. Then I pushed and asked that she send me a nudie over the computer. Then she got really offended and defriended me on Facebook. Now all I got is loneliness. Blew that one. Damn it.
I can relate. Yeah. I'm attracted
That's
to.
kind of funny.
I like trashy women. When
Trashy
you're,
women are fun.
yeah, yeah. They're gonna
They
put
can
out.
be.
Yeah. Whereas I don't know, like women who are kind of well, you got the Madonna whore complex. So the Madonna types tend to be boring. They may not put out. They just might. They're high maintenance. That's another thing. That's a big pain in the ass. Whereas I think with the whore side of the equation, not that they're necessarily a whore, but they tend to they like as long as you could maybe get them drunk or high or something. They don't demand as much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. They're like low maintenance. I like to call it low maintenance.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
don't require much to like be happy. Oh man, it reminds me of Workaholics. You ever watch that show, Workaholics?
Never have no. Is it like
Okay,
is it sketch
you're
comedy?
what's that? Yeah, it's not really sketch comedy. It's like it. Well, hard to explain. It's like they got 4 seasons, and like they do shows, right? Like there's like they work at a I think it's called Telecorp. It's like a what is it? A telemarketer thing.
Hmm.
And it's basically like, they're stoners, they're fucking whatever, like they don't really give a shit about their job. And um there is a part where I'm gonna find her fucking name. You know the fucking Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica?
I never saw that. No.
Oh man. Justified?
As far as trashy women in TV goes, I would have done Meredith from The Office.
Oh yeah. Okay, hang on. Starbuck.
And she seemed to give it up to almost any guy, so she didn't. There was no fortress in her pants. So
Katie Sackhoff. That's the name I'm looking for. So Katie Sackhoff in Workaholics plays like a fucking wicked trashy chick. She's so good. And like she's a sci-fi like paramour, I guess you could say. Like they fucking she's wicked. Sci-fi amazing chick. Hilarious too, because she's in a lot of like robot chicken sketches. But hang on. I'm gonna find you the clip because you need to see this later. You'll be like, yeah, no, this she is. Oh, and she's in Big Bang Theory a lot too, because it's
I,
nerd stuff, right? But
um,
um,
it's funny. I was thinking today about Krista's life. I keep having flashbacks from it, and yet I didn't live it and I didn't witness it. But the stuff she's told me about is just so outrageous that I'll keep thinking about it spontaneously.
yeah,
Which is why the movie would be so good if I had ever made it.
yeah, right. I mean, it was so much potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find that clip. They don't have it. It's like you gotta watch the fucking show, which
Mm.
sucks. I hate that. Like it's like when you want to find like a certain thing and it's not there. It's like this should be there. This is gold. Like this is fucking comedy gold. Anyway.
But you're looking at YouTube.
Yeah, I was looking on YouTube for like just the one clip, but it does not exist.
I watched the movie Old School because of that scene where the guy says, "I'm here for the gangbang," and
Oh
just
yeah.
disappointed by most of the movie. It was just that one scene I liked. That was it. And there's a great T-shirt for that, but they didn't have it in my size. But
Yeah, no, that guy's wicked.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm here for the gangbang.
yeah, yeah. I wonder what it's been like for because there have been a few occasions when like a porn actress would break a record for gangbangs, like 500 guys or something over the course of one day. What does that feel like at the end of the day? Like, fuck. Could you imagine doing that?
Probably like a lot of like the same dick. It
She'd have to be sore.
depends.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, you'd want to kind of
Well,
take precautions, we'll say.
that would be one instance where it would be a relief if the guys had small dicks. I guess you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
take a baby arm every time from 300 guys. That would be hard.
Yeah.
That would be it'd be painful.
Yeah, totally. Uh, yeah, if they're all like fucking baby arm kind of shit, like fuck that, no.
Yeah, that takes stamina.
I'll take stamina for. 500 Quebec.
One way guys can increase their stamina is to put cocaine on the knob because it numbs it up, though it's not as pleasurable for them. And it's not really a good idea for a woman gynecologically to have cocaine going in there, but that's one
Well,
option.
I mean, you can do it. Like, I've not had any issues.
Stand corrected.
But I mean, that's something that I don't do often.
Oh,
And like, we're gonna just maybe like bleep out some things.
oh. Was that actress Pam Grier dated Richard Pryor, and he wanted to do that, but she wouldn't do it because she just felt like if cocaine's going in there, it's gonna do some damage. So she's just like, fuck that. So, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it wouldn't really make anything. I mean, if you
Not
can,
really. It just like eventually gets absorbed
yeah, I guess.
into your membranes and stuff.
Well, I mean, if you can snort that up your nose for 10 years, I guess you can put it in there once and nothing terrible will happen.
Or twice or a few times.
Well, who's counting?
It does create some interesting sensations, though. I will say that.
Well, I've never done it as a drug, so I don't really know what the sensations are like.
Honestly, not my favorite. Like, I've like revisited it and like I'm like, oh, why do I do this? Like, I don't know what they put in it now, but it's whatever they put in it is not things that should be in your face.
Yeah, they cut it with all kinds of shit, right?
It feels like fucking glass. Sometimes you're just like, the back of my eyeballs hurt.
I wonder if they mix it with meth or something like that.
I mean, I hear it's usually fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, if
And diuretics.
direct. See, if they legalized it, it would just be pure organic cocaine, and you wouldn't do any more
Oh
damage.
man, like, dude, you'd be like, you could. Okay, so as much as I like to do that, you do need to cut it with something.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is it true
Yeah.
that it makes a guy impotent?
Not all men, no.
Oh,
But most men, yes.
hmm.
Coke dick and whiskey dick are weird. Like, they're real.
Well, I think if the
With
heart
some people.
if the heart is beating too fast, that can create a problem in that regard.
Oh, it's like mental shit too.
Yeah.
Things just ain't connecting, you know, like.
Well, if it makes him feel anxiety, that could definitely affect it because anxiety is bad for man's potency.
Yeah. Potency.
Yeah. Which is why they have fluffers on film sets, porn sets, because especially if it's his first time, because getting it up in front of a group of
Oh yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys think, oh, right on, I'll get paid to have sex, but people are watching you on the fucking set, like the boom operator, the cameraman,
Yeah.
around watching you. Like I once acted just in a regular movie, and that was weird. You know what I mean? Like they're all watching you, and you have to emote, and it's a strange thing. And I thought having sex like this must be really, really weird. I mean, women can fake orgasms, but a man can't fake an erection. So, which is why they take Viagra and have fluffers. So,
Yeah. It's very true.
fluffer, what a job, eh?
Yeah. I would like almost guess there'd be quite a few unenthusiastic hand jobs going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe they'd get a prostitute or someone who's just done that for meth money.
Like, hey, you girl on the street.
Well, she would do it if she got the money. Addicts will do anything for money. So. All right. So is that the end? I think we've done them all.
I think that's the end.
All right. Well, so we have. Let me see. Yes, we're over an hour. Some of it will be cut out, but
Whatever.
Yeah.
You
So
can add like other stuff to like my little like Jeopardy thing there
yeah, that's right.
if you
So
want. Like just stick some other things over top of it. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I'll shorten the music, but I'll keep the brownie story in. Do that.
The brown. Well, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
So those of
And
you
a little chunk of the music.
who listen and who may even watch the Papo videos, we're going to get very intoxicated this coming Saturday because it's our St. Patrick's Day Papo video. What are you going to? Are you going to drink or are you going to smoke? What are you planning to do?
I'm doing both.
Both. Eh? I'm smoking weed because it is green after all. So
I'm smoking weed because it's green, but I'm drinking whiskey because I am Irish.
yeah, I'm part Irish too. Yeah,
So,
it's going to be interesting.
yeah, and it's so funny because I was like, for the longest time, I was like, bitch, I ain't Irish. Why did I fucking celebrate it? And then I learned about like what it was actually about. I'm like, bitch, I'm Irish. Like, well, I found out later too that I was also Irish. Bitch, I'm Irish. Why would I celebrate this?
Yeah, right.
Like, but I'm like, now I'm like, bitch, I'm Irish. Y'all can't fucking, like, I'm drinking on this goddamn day because I deserve it. Like, it's
It
funny
just
how
occurred
it
to
kind of like does that fucking crazy ass roller coaster of emotions where you're just like, first you don't know, then you know, then you're
yeah,
like, well, fuck you all. You ain't Irish, and I know what you all did to us, so I'm drinking. Like,
just occurred to me now to play House of Pain during that episode.
yes,
Yeah.
that that and like, oh man, some good old Ian McShane tunes, man.
Yes, Popes, yes.
Dude, you need to get some Pogues on there. Actually, there's some of him just like drinking in a bar and he like sings and the whole bar goes quiet. I love those ones because it's just like it's just him singing and he's like he doesn't have the best voice but he has a good voice.
Yeah.
He's got such a fucking wicked Irish fucking
Alcoholic.
folk voice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a professional alcoholic. It's kind of funny actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely professional alcoholic.
With the
Him and
teeth.
Tom Waits. Tom Waits was a professional alcoholic too.
Yeah, too. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that's all for now. And you
We
have your
shot our load.
yes. Looking forward to talking to you again Saturday night.
Yes.
All right.
Can't wait.
All right. You take care.
All right, you as well.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye bye.